Mistress of Read's wrap-up, April 2018. Backed by less than popular demand. Books, romance, sci-fi, urban fantasy, movies, anime, manga, and comics are what we cover here, and just on the stank side, bit of nostalgia. I reread the audiobook series Kris Longknife in prep for the new book coming out in May, which means that I had to read the one book from the series that I kept skipping over kind of accidentally, and that is Kris Longknife 16.5, and that is this Santiago book, the Santiago books. And I've read all of them except for this one, and it just kind of happened. So before we get started, let's explain a few things and how we got here, which is 17 books with the new one coming out, and some side books and short stories to get us through this Kris Longknife, who the hell this person is, and who is Sandy, because you can't tell who Sandy is until you tell who Kris is. So let's talk about Kris. Kris Longknife is a Space Navy woman who also has, besides the military heritage, she has a political heritage, and she's rich, which is corporate, more of a corporate heritage, and she's a space princess. And normally that is just not the kind of character I like. Just not my thing. I'm not into princesses. I just don't do it. I don't do boohoo rich girl stuff. But I have to admit, I just really loved Kris Longknife. She's really plucky. She's an awesome character, and she's constantly discovering things about her world, and in turn, doing so herself. One of the biggest takeaways from another space-going series, which is Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, was that when they went on these Star Trek adventures, they weren't just exploring the universe, they were exploring themselves. And that's what happens with Kris Longknife series, and all of Kris Longknife's subsequent side verses and side books. Even when she's not the main character or even in it, they're constantly exploring the universe and exploring the world around them, and in so doing, exploring themselves. And that is something I enjoy. So that's the Kris Longknife series. You should read it. It's about 17 books and a bunch of side stories and whatnot. Yeah. So let's move on. We also have here Santiago series, which is about 3 books so far, taking place in Alwa, which is a location that Kris is pretty much fighting the ultimate monsters of the series, which weirdly enough look a lot like us. But the heritage of Santiago is that the Santiagos are constantly almost like a vassal, liege vassal relationship, but without all the lordy stuff. This liege vassal relationship between the Santiagos and the Longknives, and it's something that Santiago both takes pride in and scorns at the same time, which is an interesting dichotomy for a character. I like the series as a whole, and I'm just gonna get into this a little bit more. I like the series as a whole, but I do have problems with the series. Santiago is an awesome character with a lot of dimensions, and when I say dimensions, I mean that Kris Longknife is a character that's bigger than life, and things just happen for her, and it's like people get spirited away, whereas Santiago is much more Navy. When she wears the mantle of the Navy and does things sort of the Navy way, she isn't completely orthodox, but you can feel the shoulders of those, Navy capes they used to wear on big old ocean-going vessels in like the the 1600s or something. You get the feeling that she is a part of the universe, the real world. Not the princess world, but the real muck and dirt, space. Whereas we know certain things about Kris, like her goals. She's a character with extreme agency. Sandy is a character we're waiting to find out the agency. She has so much going on, such as a daughter, I think a husband that died, but I'm not entirely sure because it's constantly referred to but skipped over at the same time. You don't ever go through an emotional journey with her. You mostly go through events that sort of relate to Kris, and I think she's actually a strong enough character to be treated a little better in the series and have a little more going on. I think she's worth the agency we could put into her character, and she's worth the time. Here's the thing. I am really glad that this time Mike Shepherd did not do the whole every 50 pages the woman is looking for a man or looking for male approval in some way, and it turns into this blah blah blah, date me blah blah blah, sexy blah blah blah. So I thought that was a huge improvement. She had a mind. At the same time, I want to know things about her personal taste and distaste, which we are very slowly getting, but I would like a little bit more of. Like, she likes bubble baths instead of showers. Neat. I like that. I like knowing that, she thinks certain things are cute, or adorable. I would love to know if her daughter is going to come out to the Alwa station, and I hope to God she doesn't lose her daughter, because I don't think I could handle that scene if it happened. I'm just saying, don't do that. Don't do that. I will be ugly. I want to know more, and I'm excited to know more. I'm ecstatic to know more. I want richness brought to this character, and I'm ready for it. I'm completely ready for it. Now, this is an excellent read. I recommend this book. It's a good read. It's not a must read, but it certainly is a good read. I wouldn't pass it up. I think that this is a series that I want to see expanded on, and I want it to be treated as seriously as the Peter Wald, if not more seriously, because Sandy Santiago is a much better character, and it's the most relatable character that has gotten a book thus far. Besides Kris herself, which I'm not even sure how you made a space princess relatable, but whatever. It just happened that way. So this is Mistress Reads. I'm Miss OP, and I just like to say we have more books, romance, sci-fi, urban fantasy, movies, manga, and comics, and some nostalgia on the stank side stuff. If you'd like to check it out, please do. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or the like button and the little bell, because there's thousands of things you can hit now instead of just one. And if you're watching this on Goodreads, sup. See you next week, and thank you so much.